Welcome to your weekly tarot reading. Today's reading features the Green Witch tarot cards. For this week's reading, we'll be looking at the week ahead through a simple 3-card spread. The first card represents the beginning of the week, the second card represents the middle of the week, and the third card represents the end of the week. Let's begin. For your first card, representing the beginning of the week, you've pulled the King of Wands reversed. This card suggests themes of misdirected ambition, impulsiveness, or a struggle with control or leadership. You may be feeling scattered or unsure where to place your energy. This could be due to a lack of direction or discipline as a leader or from a leader. Speaking of leadership, you could be clashing with a dominant figure or struggling to lead effectively yourself. A leader, either you or someone else, may be acting stubbornly or irresponsibly, thus causing delays or friction due to poor planning or arrogance. Perhaps your leader, either you or yourself, may feel inspired but lack the structure to actually follow through. Likewise, in a relationship, someone might be trying to dominate a situation, thus creating tension. Impatience or a hot temper could be affecting the situation as well. As a leader, you may be holding back when you should be stepping up. My advice for the start of the week is to ground your vision with a practical plan. Take all of your thoughts, write them down, and make actionable steps to move forward. You must pause before reacting, especially if emotions or your pride are high. Think before you act. Make sure to ask yourself, am I acting like a true leader, or am I just trying to stay in control? Representing the middle of the week, you've pulled the Ace of Chalices reversed. Looking ahead, there's a clear emotional and energetic theme unfolding, one that warns of emotional burnout, unfulfilled expectations, or a blockage in your emotional flow or connection. Perhaps you are feeling a creative or spiritual drought, disappointment in love, or vulnerability. With the King of Wands reversed as the beginning of the week, there is a pattern unfolding for the middle of your week with the Ace of Chalices reversed. This pattern suggests that an impulsive or dominating energy at the start of the week may lead to emotional exhaustion or disconnection midweek. You may feel emotionally drained after trying too hard to lead or impress someone or control a situation. You may be struggling to connect with others because you're suppressing how you really feel, possibly in favor of appearances or your pride. You're putting on a facade, you're putting on a mask in order to stay in control of the situation or project. Thus, you may experience disappointment in a relationship or creative pursuit that you probably started with high hopes, but lacked the actual emotional depth or authenticity. For the middle of the week, take time to pause and reflect. What emotional needs have you ignored or pushed aside in favor of action or control? What emotional needs have you ignored in favor of something impulsive? Then you need to recenter yourself. Ground yourself however you can through self-care, resting. What do you need to take care of yourself? What does self-care look like to you? Take a moment to check in, relax, and rest. Refill your chalice before offering anything to others. It's okay to admit when you're overwhelmed. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to ask others to help refill your own chalice. For your third and final card, representing the end of the week, you've pulled the Two of Chalices reversed. Looking at the full spread, with the beginning of the week representing the King of Wands reversed, the middle of the week being the Ace of Chalices reversed, and the end of the week being the Two of Chalices reversed as well. This spread represents a picture of emotional imbalance, miscommunication, and disconnection, especially in relationships, whether these relationships are romantic, platonic, or even your relationship with yourself. At the end of the week, a disconnect becomes evident, possibly a misunderstanding, argument, or emotional rift. There may be a lack of reciprocity or unity in a key relationship. Alternatively, you may come face to face with patterns of codependency, unmet expectations, or difficulty seeing eye to eye. For a summary of the entire spread here, you start the week with strong desires, but your energy could come across as controlling, impatient, or ego-driven. Thus, you or someone around you might be pushing too hard without truly listening or aligning with you or others. Midweek, your emotional energy starts to deplete. There may be a blocked expression of feeling, sadness, or a sense that your emotional cup is empty. You might be avoiding vulnerability, overwhelmed by your own emotions, or feeling unappreciated. Then by the end of the week, you may be feeling burnt out. There's that misunderstanding, there's that argument, there's that tension, there's that disconnect, a feeling of inequality between you and another person. Your expectations may be imbalanced, and you're not seeing eye to eye with those that you love or those you're in a relationship with. Looking over the entire week ahead, beware of unbalanced power dynamics. A strong personality may be overpowering a relationship or creative endeavor. Also be on the lookout for emotional misalignment. What may start as a passionate push may lead to an emotional suppression and finally a breakdown in mutual understanding between yourself and someone else. There's a need to reflect, rest, recalibrate, reconnect with each other, not from force or from fear, but from an actual desire to reconnect and reflect and rest. You need to have that drive to become better. As for any advice I would have for you for this week, I want you to slow down. I want you to rest. I want you to ask yourself, am I trying to lead, or am I just trying to stay in control? Am I being actually emotionally honest with myself? Am I being honest in what I expect? Am I being honest in what I need? And am I actually getting those things? Have I communicated these needs to others? Don't bottle things up, especially in the middle of the week. You need to speak from the heart, even if it feels vulnerable, even if it feels scary. You need to speak up. Don't bottle it up. If a relationship feels off, take a break, take a pause, and reflect. Is this a misalignment between you and this person? Are you guys never gonna get together? Are you guys never gonna work well? Or is it simply a miscommunication? Truly think on that before reacting, before making an impulsive choice, before making an impulsive action. Always remember to give yourself and others grace. Emotional balance will return once space is made for real connection. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I